Welcome back to another exciting edition of Dino Under the Bonnet. Bargain or disaster? That's what I'd like to talk about today. 13 things that will help you before you're going to buy a car. 13 things which are really important. Now, some may say, why didn't you do 5 or 10? Well, I just happen to like 13. And as the internet is full of people talking about the best 3, the best 5, the best 10, 13 very important points. But before I begin, I've found something. I have found a Ferrari 246 Dino. I know, it's me. I've been on the search for years, perhaps decades, to actually find a real, I know they call it a barn find, but it's actually a garage find. Now, I've owned an awful lot of cars over the years, but strangely enough, I have never owned a Ferrari. I think I've always wanted one, but the Dino is special to me because I love the story behind it. Dino was the nickname for Alfredo Ferrari, Enzo's first Ferrari eldest son. He was a really talented young engineer who was involved in the first of the Ferrari V6s, and it was a fantastic engine which he did. But he tragically died in 1956 when he was only 24. So subsequently, Enzo Ferrari decided to use the V6 car that he made, and he called it the Dino. It was the first road-going Dino. It was the first one was the 206 GT, followed by a 246 GT. That's the one that many people recognize nowadays. Now the question is, have I found a bargain or an absolute disaster? Because that's what I'm going to be talking about today. Classics, modern cars, they all have these very important 13 points. You can narrow them down to 10 if you want. But if you do listen, it should really help when you are going to buy your next car, or if you are seduced by a beautiful shiny car. And that's the first point. Don't be blindsided by shiny paint. First impressions can be dangerous. Not necessarily, but the first thing to look for is microblistering. That's the tiny bubbles underneath the paint, which they occur particularly panel edges, corners, around apertures, areas where moisture can correct? No, they collect. Once microblistering is widespread, then you've only got one thing to do, and that's to strip it right back. And that's where the money starts. I had a DB6 which had a lot of microblistering. This was in the very early days. And I thought, this would be a good buy. But boy, was I in for an absolute disaster. Stripping it back, and then and all the filler and tapping out, because it's made of aluminium. All Astons are made of aluminium. Boy, was that a difficult project to do. And also the welding is aluminium, and that's just a nightmare because it can disappear in front of your eyes. I've done it. You get a bit of heat on aluminium, boom, off it goes. I had an interesting story about a Jaguar. Customer brought in a Jaguar. It looked beautiful. It really did. E-types, you know, I'm not really blah 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 E-types. But this was an American car. It was right-hand drive. Looked fantastic. We put it on under the ramp, on the ramp, and we could see overspray everywhere. So what somebody has done is clearly just sprayed it, hidden everything, and all the secrets were hidden. And boy, was that a difficult thing to say to the client. Sometimes an honest car is the best car. Now, what do I mean by an honest car? This is point number 2, if you're taking note. I actually like honest cars. Slightly faded paint, few marks, interior showing its age, or as people like to describe, patina. No, it's just plain old. And what you see is what you get. There's nothing is hidden. And that's what I like. It wasn't restored by somebody. It's just, it looks right. I'm saying it looks right. I've had a lot of experience, so how would I say looks right? It's not oh goodness me, a concourse car. Now a concourse car, that can get you into serious trouble. But we can get onto that. It's not a dead shiny car. It's not pretending to be anything else. A good history file is good. And, you know, that's a really good starting point. The next, number 3, is find the rust. It's like hunt the rust, because that's the biggest killer. And it is the most expensive on any restoration, the rust, because it means the paint. Areas that you should look at are wheel arches, inner and outer sills, of course, floors, jacking points, because they can become corroded, and that causes trouble. Bottoms of doors around the windscreen, rear windscreen in particular. Suspension mounting points, I would consider chassis sections and seam joints. That is a lot to remember, but just go around the car and just take that snapshot and think, where's this rust hiding? Because there will be some. And have a look. Is it just a panel? Because it's quite easy to replace a panel nowadays, unless it's something silly like an Aston. Then you get a piece. But most cars now, you can get them. There isn't much of a problem. But welding can swallow the budget. Number 4. People sometimes see a rusty hole and think, well, I'll just plate over that. I can tell you that is not a restoration. What you have to do is cut the rotten metal out. There's no way other than cut it out, replace the panel, and keep cutting until you reach good metal. And then after you reach good metal, just go a little bit more. And then you can produce the correct shape, reproduce the seam joints, preserve the originality, and where appropriate, of course. And sometimes dismantling a huge amount of car is simply just to try and get to that point. It can cost you a fortune. So keep your eyes open for that and think, when you look at a car and think, we'll just weld a piece. Don't think that. Think, I need to replace that section, and how much is it going to cost? And the cost can go through the roof, absolutely through the roof. Rare doesn't necessarily mean valuable. This is a bit of an odd one here. My father had and this is why I do hate them. Austin Allegro, brown 3-door. Oh boy, did I hate it! Everything. In fact, what I used to do, because he used to drive me to school, I'd asked him to stop maybe 100 meters away from the school or just round the corner where people couldn't see me. And you don't see many of those cars anymore, but there's a reason for them, because they were rubbish to begin with. There are, sorry, Austin Allegro Club, I am a member. In the later episodes, you will understand why. Unfortunately, I cannot tell you at this moment. It's a bit like the Ferrari. I'm unable to tell you where it is. I've searched so long, and I am unable to tell you why I joined the Austin Allegro Club yet, but I will. So where do you buy your car? Auctions are a really good place, but they can be dangerous. You have to stick to your budget and don't get auction fever. And suddenly you're outbidding, you see the man, woman, opposite, boy, and you think, ooh, I know, I'll keep going. And then it's regrets. And I've seen regrets happen all the time. Sometimes you do get great bargains. Matthewson's, you get great bargains there. I think that's great. We work with them doing the filming for Bangers and Cash, restoring classic cars. And they genuinely do have good, well-priced I will call them really well-priced cars. Now, this this is a really good one. We're at 0.7 already. It's quite exciting, this. I really do like this. I've got a little cheat sheet in the background of how many points I've got to talk about, so I'm not doing it off the top of my head. Then the point I've made here is don't pay a premium just because it's a barn find. Now, my Ferrari 246. What'd you do? You searched all these decades, and then one comes up, and it's almost romantic. You see it, and you think, "Oh, I love you." But open the door, and the dust is everywhere. The car hasn't moved since 1985. Everybody gets extremely excited, and you think, hang on a minute. The brakes are seized, seals dry out, rubber perishes, of course, fuel goes off, tanks corrode, engines can seize, wiring deteriorates, interiors deteriorate, moisture gets everywhere. You think, oh, but it's about the love of it, isn't it? And you think, oh, well, I've always wanted one of these. I can make it as I wish. The strange thing about barn finds and auctions, that they can fetch an extraordinary amount of money. Now, it does puzzle me, this, because, okay, the client will buy the car and then they will spend, let's say, give an example, an E-Type, they can spend easily 150,000 restoring it. And then you've got to understand market conditions. Of course, if it's a very rare one, then yes, then I can see it. But sometimes just because people call it a barn find, it doesn't necessarily mean that it is. Now, here's the question, or a question that I posed to myself. This Ferrari that I found, is it a barn find? I've seen the pictures and it looks rough, but I don't know. So if you're thinking about spending, let's say 40,000, and you find a £30,000 car, a £30,000 car, A, and B, a £40,000 car. Obviously, the one to buy is 30,000. Aha. Oh, funny. No, it isn't. It usually is car B because all the money's been spent on it, or we're hoping that all the money's been spent on it, because you can have easily £10,000 worth of bodywork, welding, paint, suspension, brakes, interior, chrome, engine work, and it could go through the roof. So that's why I was saying earlier on, buy a good, honest car. And this doesn't apply to just classic cars. It applies to any car. And my ninth point is originality. Originality costs money. And having a good restoration that is recorded, done properly, and documented with photographs is perfect. For instance, I can think of, Ford Sierra, Cosworth, and the customer wanted the underside exactly how Ford made it. Now, when I say the underside, they used a special stone chip, and he even wanted it exactly in the waves, and it took us ages to find the correct underseal, the finish, the texture, the colour, the application. We had to try it on different metals, but it didn't matter. For him, that was the key. And it takes time to find parts and all the research that's involved. So often people wonder why the bill's expensive restoring a car. There's a hell of a lot that goes in the background, and it can take a huge amount of time. And so when people say the hourly rate restoring a car, what they don't always see are the hours spent finding out how it's actually done. So, what's my advice? My point 10, my very strong advice. If you're going to buy a car, and it doesn't matter what car it is, whether it's a Ferrari Enzo, a Dino, it's stuck on my mind, isn't it? There isn't much else I can think about apart from my wife's birthday, which is tomorrow. So happy birthday, Amanda. If she does listen to this, I love you very much. There's a bit of romance as well as romancing about the Ferrari 246. So the advice that I strongly recommend is take somebody with you. Take somebody who knows about cars. This is something I learned personally from many, many years ago. And I bought a load of mistakes. And what I didn't do was take a Don with me. Now, I say a Don with me because many years ago, I had a technician who was called Don, and he was a brilliant technician, absolutely brilliant. And I took Don everywhere, and we made good decisions, good choices, good decisions for clients. And that's what I recommend. Take a Don, because they're really good, because they can see the problems, particularly at auctions, valuable cars, unusual cars. And if it is an unusual car, you have to factor in that if there is any work to do, it's going to take a little bit longer. So the key line that you should take is buy information before you buy the car. Information is key. I guess it is with most things, isn't it? You think about it, and information is, knowledge, power. Knowledge is power. So that is a very, very, very important point. It's probably the most important point. Take a Don with you. Ooh, as I'm flashing my pen and bashing the microphone. Apologies. I recommend starting the engine from cold. Before somebody says, I'll start the engine, put your hand on the engine block and just check if it's warm or cold. If it's cold, that's starting from cold. If it's warm, no. And they're warming it up. So listen for rattles, knocks, ticking in particular. Don't want ticking. Oil pressure. Let the car run up to desired temperature, and you will see if anything goes on. Misfires, look for misfires, smoke, all the colours of the rainbow for the smoke. Oil leaks, check underneath. If it's on gravel or grass, ask if it can be taken to something hard surface so you can just check. Take it on with you again. Coolant leaks and overheating. And especially look at the belts, the hoses, coolant, oil, wiring. I know there is an awful lot to take in, but you can listen to this again. But a warm engine can hide an awful lot. So the question I have to you, are you buying this car as an investment or something you love? Well, this is where you've got to be truthful with yourself. And it's a very difficult question. And I thought about this, and buying a car, I guess it's the second biggest purchase that you're going to do. Apart from all the electric cars that are out there, and you're going to pay a monthly thing and then throw them away, as they are completely no value at all and have no business in the automotive world. However, you've got to be truthful. You really have. Is it the reason why you wanted this car? Because you've always wanted one? Is it an investment? Use your head, research it, understand the market, understand originality. Think about the resale if you have to resell it because of X, Y, and Z. You just never know what's around that corner, as I've experienced many times. If you're buying it because you love it, 246 springs to mind again. Maybe your father had one. Don't buy an Allegra, I say. Maybe you had a photograph of one on your bedroom wall, and you've got to that time in your life where perhaps the children have left, or you've got no children, and you're lucky there. And no, I jest. But when you buy with your heart, be prepared to live with it. And if you do have to sell it, it's irrelevant, apart from it's going to break your heart. But if you're trying to buy a car and work out if you're going to make money on it, honestly, it's going to be really difficult. Unless you own a garage like we do, but we don't sell cars. Selling cars is very difficult, and it's something that I wouldn't do anyway. I don't like it. I was going to say I don't like the public, but this will be rather silly when I'm doing my podcast when I say this. So, if you're buying with your heart, I've seen many clients, and I think that's the excitement that I still have in my heart, that I love to see the clients come in. Doesn't matter about the car, what it is, whether it's a Morris Minor or whether it's a Bentley S3 convertible. The make and the model don't matter, because it's nostalgia, isn't it? And it's something beautiful that you've always wanted. And that's why sometimes your heart will get involved. So weigh everything up. Be prepared to make mistakes. And one of the greatest mistakes I ever made was buying a Porsche 911 Turbo S. Wrong car, wrong time, lost an awful lot of money. It still pains me to think about it, but my wife loved it. So, didn't matter. It was her car. And well, she's the speed merchant, and I'm talking quite a bit about her. Why not? It's her birthday. She particularly likes Astons. I love the shape of Astons. I love the engineering. I just simply love them. Well, would I suggest that they are a reliable car? No. They make a lot of noise. Everything about them says no. But the 4, 5, 6, and even the 7, 9, they're beautiful. They're beautiful. I think they've gone a bit odd now. They're trying to go into Ferrari territory or Porsche 911 territory and split off and do multiple different, like the Turbo S. No, not like that. The RS and then another RS, and it's watering the product down. You see, I've lost my trend of thought now. So, it brings me back to the beginning. The Ferrari 246. My head is telling me, inspect this car properly. Work out the bodywork, work out the mechanical work, find out exactly how long it's been sitting, calculate the restoration costs accurately as can be, and honestly. Don't get carried away. And still, at the end of it, I've even told you all about this, and my heart is saying it's a Dino. I've never owned a Ferrari. I've always wanted one, I think, still, and I found one. So, bargain or disaster? At the moment, I genuinely don't know, but watch this space, because perhaps I'm just about to find out. Now, before we close, Dino's deal of the week. After all that sensible advice, let's see whether I can completely ignore this. It's an odd one. It's a car. Is it a bargain or a disaster? I've got the link underneath. Click it. It's a Porsche. Is it a bargain or disaster? I keep looking at it. You tell me if you think it is. It's such a good price, but is it a good price for a reason? Is it too good to be true? Thank you for listening. I've enjoyed myself. I hope you have. And until next time, safe driving. And I'm trying to think. What's my catchphrase? I still haven't got one. Jeremy Clarkson seems to be running round in my head. which is a very peculiar thought. But until next time, I'm Dino. Thank you for listening.